Good morning guys, and welcome back to another video. Today one of the subscribers asked for a basic maintenance guide. How I keep my S18 clean, well, any wheel for that matter, but I just want to go through the motions that I follow, and this is just going to be basic. And I know there's probably a lot of guys that disassemble their wheels and clean it thoroughly and whatever. I like to just keep a constant maintenance on the wheel. I don't really have a nice spot where I can take the wheel apart and have all the pots ready with all the screws and all that lovely stuff. So I just tend to do a basic maintenance, and I just want to cover that today. So it might help someone new to these type of wheels, or just got his first EUC and he just wants to have a look at some basic maintenance. Let's just start right at the beginning. As you guys know, most of these wheels are not super weather sealed, so just be aware of that. It is good, but just be aware that you can't really go and hose the wheel down and it's going to be fine. Water might come in and it might cause some issues, so just sort of be just be aware of that. Just keep that in the back of your mind. You know, yes, a lot of people ride in the rain and all that lovely stuff, and it's all good, but just be aware that these things is weather sealed, but it's not like waterproof type of thing. And you can cover all these small little holes and stuff with silicone, and it can sort of increase the weather sealing of an EUC. So that's just a separate note. So, and also everyone has got their own way of how they clean their wheels, and what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and so forth. This is just my routine, so you might use some parts of it or not use anything at all, but it's just going to cover all the stuff that I do. So as you guys know from way back when I first got my S18, I high pressure cleaned the wheel down. And now I've high pressure cleaned most of my wheels, well actually all of my wheels, and I've never had any issues. But for some reason water came into the top of the board and it basically fried the board. So the guys at Speedy Feet replaced the board for me, and the wheel has ever since been spot on. So yes, do I still high pressure clean the wheel? Yes and no. I do on the soft pressure wash, I only spray the bottom down, not on the top where the electronics are. So I spray the wheel down, the tire and the rim, but not again in the motor. I keep away from that. So it's just to clean the wheel around, and then also this bottom half I like to just spray down. If it's like really caked in mud, I just like to spray that stuff down. So yes, I do spray the wheel down, and it's just, again, it's quick sprays, not like in there, you know, really applying a lot of water. And then the rest of the wheel I take a wet sponge that I squish out, and I just wash the rest of the stuff down, so it's not soaked in water. I don't really spray it down with water. And then the other thing I sort of do as soon as that is done, I also have and I'll put a little picture up here somewhere so you can see. I've got a radiator brush. I don't know if you guys seen something like that. It's like a long hard bristle brush that is used to clean the rear of a water radiator for your house. This thing works perfectly to stick it up into this wheel arch, and it just takes all the mud and stuff out. Especially in the UK, it's a pain. The mud can cake in there and it takes weeks to actually dry. So I run it through with the wheel, the back and the front, on the sides, and it just gets rid of all that mud and so forth. So that's it. So spray it down or wash it down. You can even use just a wet cloth, just wipe the wheel down. That also works. But that's then the wheel clean. You know, then I wipe it, dry it off with a chamois or like a dry cloth, and then the wheel is pretty much done. What I do then is on the pedals, I like to take the pedals out and check for any cracks and stuff on the foot plates itself, just to be sure. You know, most of my journey, as you guys know, is on hard pack gravel. I'm about a 75 kilogram rider, and you know, I might get a bad batch of pedals or foot plates that it might crack. I've never had it before, but I just check the stuff. So loosen the 2 bolts on the side, take the bar out, clean it all out, and then check the foot plates that there's no cracks and stuff, wipe them down as well, and then I put a little bit of graphite grease on that bar, stick it back, clean the bolts, and then screw it back in. So that's on that side. So that is then for the pedal. So I do that on both sides. Also, there's a little spring that keeps the pedals up. I like to wipe that down as well and put a small bit of WD-40 on there. I just wipe it down. I don't really spray it on there. I just wipe it down, so it just takes the squeaking and stuff away. So on my dust boots, that keeps the suspension arms from being caked in dust. Mine has got a problem, and let me quickly show you that. When I ride the off-road trails, these things just jump out of this, and then it rides up, and then dust and stuff can go into the bottom of that, and that is not ideal. So the reason for it is to keep the dust out. So but again, this wheel has now been used for a week, so I cleaned it last weekend, and you can see it's very clean around this area, and I've ridden the whole week on gravel trails. So what I do is I've got some hot glue, and I just glue this little just on the sides, just to keep it from clipping out and then riding up, and then the dust come in there. I've got small little strips. I've taken a cleaning cloth and I've cut it up in small little strips, so I can wrap it around there and then clean the rear of this this bar, this suspension bars. The same for the shock as well at the rear. I put the little cloth in there and I then clean the suspension. Okay, and I think I'm running at the moment, what's it, 230 psi on my shock on the D&M. So that's all cool. And as you can see, again, as I said in another video, I take a little screwdriver, Phillips, and then also Allen keys, and I just tighten everything. Just check all the bolts and all the screws. Same for these ones there. I just, just tweak them and just see if they are all tight. I move to the other side of the wheel. As you can see, I've got the little hot glue stuff on there as well, and they've been holding up very well. I do clean it off with alcohol before I put the hot glue on, just so it sticks. But again, if you want to take it off, you just clip it off with your finger, and then it's gone. So that's quite cool as well. And then another thing, again, I take a clean cloth with some WD-40, and I just rub it all over these little connectors. I might drip in a little bit of WD-40 in there, but then I wipe it down that it's totally clean and dry. So it just creates like a film over it. Again, on this side, make sure that all the bolts are nice and tight. And yeah, guys, that's it. It's super simple. The same for the trolley handle. I extend it all the way to the top, take my little cloth with WD-40, and I just rub it down, so it just keeps it lubricated. The other thing as well that happens with my wheel a lot is small little stones and stuff jump in between this mud guard and there, and it's super annoying. It becomes like this crunching noise. It's not ideal. For that as well, I just like and push the fender to the one side, and then I just try and pry the little stones and stuff loose with, say, a thin putty knife. Really, that's the one I used the last time. It's like a putty knife. So it just slides in there, and I can just pry the little stones loose, because yeah, it scrapes the inside and it's not ideal. The other thing that I also check is because I charge the wheel pretty much daily, because my ride, I can't go into the office in and out without having to charge overnight. And again, I just check in the air, make sure everything is dry and clean, and just wipe it down. Put a little what do you call it, a little like a paintbrush that I use just to get into the small little sections, where I can just brush it all out. Again, the light, that's all cool. I just make sure all the cables and stuff looks like it's nicely connected and it's clean. So I don't know if you guys got the same, but my this thing is basically broken loose on the one side, the rubber, and then it runs into the fender. This little lip thing there falls into here, and then it makes like a noise. You know, when you were younger, you had your BMX, you put the little plastic in there to make that rattling sound. That happens with that rubber. And what I've also done is, again, you just clean it off there, and then you just hot glue it on there. And the nice thing about the hot glue is not permanent, so if you do fall, it breaks loose and you can just glue it back on. And that is that real fender. But as you guys can see, man, this wheel just it just holds up. Just holds up really well. I'm very impressed. Again, nothing else, you know. All the moving parts here at the rear of the shock, again, I try and clean that off with a WD-40 cloth. Again, it's not soaked, it is just covered in a small light film of oil, so works quite well. And then for the plastics, that works quite well, that I found, to get the rich blackness into the wheel, is to use the car dash spray cleaner. It works a treat. It just really works well, and really bring that richness out, and also takes all the dirt and stuff in the, you know, if you've got scuff marks and whatever on the wheel, it just brings it out nicely, nice and clean, deep, rich again. So yeah, there's also this thing called ACF 50. It's like also like a type of oil spray that you can spray, and this keeps water out. I use it on my motorbike as well, and it's been really working quite well. But I'll link WD-40, ACF 50. I'll also link the brush and all those things into the description below, so you can check that out. Another thing as well, a lot of guys run slime. I actually bought the bottle of slime, but I haven't added slime to the tire. So that's my next job, is to deflate this tire, get some slime in it, and then that's also sorted. But again, you know, the trails that I ride, for some bizarre reason, touch wood, there's no thorns. Quite bizarre, and they've just cut everything next to the tow path, and it's been fine. But yeah, so yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. You know, I don't really take anything apart. You know, I sort of, the pedals, the parts that slides up and down where you can adjust the height of the pedals, I do take them off as well. But they are sort of, when I've got my pedals set up to that height that I ride, that's pretty much where it stays. I just check the bolts and make sure that they are all tight, nicely snug, and they are secure. Because I don't change them. But yeah, sometimes I would loosen everything. I'd take that off, clean it all up, and then bolt that back on. Make sure everything is lined up, so it's all good. But otherwise, I can't think of anything else. You know, it's a fairly easy maintainable device, really, an EUC. If you compare that to a mountain bike or an e-bike, these things, it's a board, it's a battery, and it's a motor, boom, and some cables, and that's about it. So it's very simple, and this is what makes it so nice and easy to maintain. If you guys have got any tips and tricks for other riders, please drop it in the comments below. Might be that guys would like a different view. A lot of people use different lubricants or oils or sprays and stuff, or methods and whatever. Please drop it all in the comments below, because new riders, it might help them. You know, it's quite a big change to go from a bicycle to an EUC, and it can be overwhelming, and what to do, what to buy, and how to maintain these things. But yeah, guys, it's super simple. But yeah, if you've got any tips and tricks for the S18 or any other wheel for that matter, drop it in the comments below. Share that knowledge, so that if someone finds this video, they can at least read the comments and see what other people around the world use. So that's the main aim. Okay guys, again, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the video. If you did like the video or was helpful in any way, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and cheers.